Alright, we're doing another video by Judo Punch, who's playing Rein and D.Va with a tiny bit of Orisa on King's Row. This is Plat 1 on PC. What do you want reviewed? My positioning was very aggressive. Was it appropriate? Did I take the acceptable cover location slash sides of cover for defensive slash offensive posturing? I was trying new angles in an effort to not just go default. What are better positions? What are the wrong positions? Was I being overly aggressive? At what points? Was almost exclusively going for backline, multi-people fire strikes. That's great. I was having trouble recognizing when the enemy team is out of position in general. I'm not sure it applies here, but if there's anyone on the enemy team I could have punished, I would like to know. All in all, there were a couple times I flat through the match for my team, and I could have made better decisions. Anything else? Alright, so I've already pre-watched this. Number one, on Rein, I think your biggest problems are pushing when you shouldn't and not pushing when you should. But mostly pushing when you shouldn't. And that's going to be kind of your biggest problem here, and it's going to jam you up on offense to the point that you don't end up capping the first point, which is going to be tough. So that's kind of problem number one. Problem number two is when you're playing on D.Va, you switch to D.Va for the final point, which I think was totally fine. You're going to end up wasting bomb. You're going to get staggered like way out of position. You're going to end up using bomb to try to recover the situation, and it ends up being really, really bad. You lose out a really important tank ult in that, and that's another reason why you don't cap the final point. And then on defense, you just get absolutely steamrolled. I think you don't respect their Zen, who ends up pumping a ton of damage into you. You get picked, and then it's just kind of a nonstop snowball from there. So let's take a look. Actually, before I begin talking about a little bit about quote-unquote going default, I think not going default makes sense if you're anything other than a brawl tank, right? If you're playing D.Va, right, or you're playing Winston, or you're playing like all the many DPS, then it makes sense to not just like go main with everyone else. But when you're playing Rein or Orisa, and to some extent Ramattra as well, I think there's a reason why people go the way they go. You know, like looking at this first point, I don't want my Reinhardt to go like through here and like push back this side. You know, that's not what I need out of the Reinhardt. I just need my Reinhardt to control space and apply pressure to the opposing team. So I would encourage you to be probably, I'm going to say encourage, but I would say in general, you don't want to be particularly creative as your ball tank. Right? You have a very straightforward job. Like focus on executing on your job. If you're playing D.Va though, I do not want my D.Va just be standing main shooting here, right? D.Va, yeah, go ahead, take high ground or whatever it is. I don't want my D.Va flying through here and wasting time though. That's also no good. Let's take a look. You can't spawn. You check for people hiding, which is nice. It basically stops happening starting in Diamond, which you're almost at. You check. I would stop spamming jump. It's pretty bad. So a big reason not to spam jump, besides the fact that it doesn't actually make you more evasive, is if you need to react to something when you're in the air, like you see how when you jump, if you suddenly were like, oh god, there's a bastion, you cannot go backwards. You cannot straight backwards because you're in the air. So you have to wait till you land and you're out of position, and now you need to come back in. So hypothetically, if there's a Mei here, the fact that you jump around the corner allows her to wall you right now. You see? Because you jumped, there's no way for you to get back at this point. It's physically impossible no matter how fast your reaction time is, because once you're in the air, you're set in that path. So just stop jumping, number one. Number two, don't forget you can look around corners by using third-person peeking with your shield. I don't think I saw you using that at all this game, so I'm going to link the Reinhardt techniques video that I have to make sure that you know about it. So you push through choke right now. This is the right call. For this point, I think that you're going to end up trying to play Car a little more. I think Car is not great for tanks. It's really meant for DPS heroes, and the reason being is like it's not that large, and it's not a great position for your supports to get healing in on you. So that's why I think for brawl tanks, you typically just want to play this inside corner. Right? Like you're going to fight here, recharge, fight here, recharge, right, fight here, recharge, maybe threaten through here, but mostly fight here, recharge until you finally push through. I don't think you need to be super creative here. So it's kind of slow reaction time. You throw Fire Strike, good. Lucio gets in your face. This should immediately be a Hammer Swing followed by a Fire Strike. Right? There's no reason to shield. It's just a solo Lucio. Like I want to see, like immediately, the second you see that Lucio on your screen, right here, right? I would be swinging right now. Right, you're just way too slow. You had plenty of time to swing, even after the boop. I don't think he was still far enough away. So you're going to end up taking this. You see Lucio's now taking control of left side, which is kind of funny. Puts a lot of pressure on your Cassidy. See? Like, if you're standing here, this never happens, because you could just kill Lucio. And now you see that your Cassidy's getting forced out, and you are not moving forward. So this is a great example where you're not being aggressive enough. You have full health right now. You have full shield. Your Cassidy got super, super low. Lamp got forced because of Lucio. And you see your Ramattra is extending right now to try and get damage in. There's no reason to be playing slow right now. You need to be playing up. Right? You should have immediately shut down the Ramattra. I mean, like, it's weird because you're out of position to begin with. But you should have been as soon as you see the Ramattra doing this, I'm moving left to intercept. Especially right now, I'm moving up to get swings in. I don't want to go through the shield yet, but I do want to get swings in. So now, Ramatra's shield is down, and the problem is you're not full health, but you still have some shield. So my perspective here is probably I want to start pushing up and get to this corner, right? I want to force the Ramatra off point if I can, which would be great. At least separate him from supports. Weird time to be backing up. Again, you have plenty of shield, 957 shield. Okay, still got plenty of health. I think you should be pushing up right now. This is the wrong time to be playing back. Right? Everyone on your team's up. There's no reason for you to be waiting. This is not a good fire strike. I think fire striking from far away, if they have places to dodge, is not so good. If anything, you should have thrown it to the left where nobody was looking at you. Okay, this is great, right? This is, I think, it's the right call finally, is this is what you're doing. When you hear that shield go up, it's fine. Like, you're probably going to get zoned from healing, so now you can just back up, right? Just put shield, get back around the corner. Yep, this is fine. One thing to note is when you put the shield up, look behind you, right? Third person peek, see what the shield is, and get out of the shield. So instead of going this way, you should have gone this way. It also tucks you in behind the corner faster. You get super lit here, and he forces a grenade. So because you get messed up here, Ana's forced to nade you, which is bad. Your Ana, you never want your Ana to nade you. Universally, on any hero, any role that I play, I never want my Ana to nade me. I want my Ana to nade the other team. That's how you win games, is that the other team gets anti-healed and then people die. So, right now, you go up, right? So you release shield here for no reason. I'm not totally sure, maybe because you said the fire strike was available, but this is not a time you want to fire strike, right? Everyone, 100% of the people here are shooting at you. This is not the time to fire strike. This is how you get melted as Rein. So you don't want to fire strike right now. You don't want to greed, right? Ramatra shield's up. You can't get healed. Just hold shield and go backwards. Ideally, you would shield hop. That's also not a technique I see you using at all. You should be shield hopping. So now you force out the nade, get you super low. Right, they get a ton of value, and then they force you back, and your shield's gonna break. And never let shield break. That's another like a basic tip on Reinhardt. Never ever let shield break. A 1 health shield is incredibly valuable because it will still block an infinite amount of damage as long as it's one instance. A 1 health shield will save you from Diva Bomb, for example, or Riptire. Right? Never let shield break. So your team got a pick. You should be moving up forwards. So even right now, even with the Ramatra shield up, I would still aggress. Because I know my Cassidy has the side angle. Well, I mean, he's going to die right now. But we're still up 1. I push through the shield. Right. So you should not be here. You should be playing here. Think about corners all the time when you play tanks, especially brawl tanks. Okay? You don't want to fight here and then retreat this way. You want to fight, and then retreat this way. Tuck into the corner, because that's going to prevent the Ramatra from standing on point. So he's gonna end up dying anyway. But I think that's a general rule for you, is to tuck in like that to the closest corner. This, I think, is a crazy charge. Unless you knew that there was no sleep. Did you know there was no sleep? So you know there's no grenade. Okay, so you potentially knew that there was no sleep because you saw it used. I still would not go here because the point is still a long way from capping, and if you die, it gives them a good recontest. Like, it is very possible for them to win this fight. I do not think you should charge right now. It's not worth like the risk compared to the benefit of the staggers. I think you should chill. Okay, you cap. This is a good time, and you don't do it nearly enough. Look back. See what your team is. See what your positioning is. If you look back right now, you can see your team is nowhere close to being ready to fight you. The cart is still just barely moving right now. Right? Like, this thing, where you stand up right here and just swing at air, is not helpful. This is not value. Just chill. Right? For the record, you could also go through this way and then take library as well. I think that was a good fire strike. It misses, obviously, but no big deal. You do not need to back here. Right? Instead of backing the whole way, which exposes you to a ton of damage, just play right here. Right? Just play right here, and if the Ramatra fights you, so be it. The Ramatra's gonna have to stand in front of this pathway with your whole team shooting at him. Right? Just tuck in to close corners. Very, very, very important skill as a brawl tank. Right? So you let the Ramatra farm damage on you. Because you're in main, you're gonna drop shield here for no real reason. I don't really know why you drop shield now. Then you get slept. You really should have gotten naded here. You back for the fire strike. That fire strike was a little off. Then you charge. This feels crazy to me. I don't really know why you're charging right now. Like, I feel like you're trying to get the Lucio, but he's clearly too high. So it's like a weird choice. Then you miss the Ramatra with the swing. That's no good. chill. You're still only at 400 health. You can die here instantly if you're not careful. Yeah. See? A bunch of errors happen here. You don't need to do anything right now. You have no health and you have no shield. Right? Push when you have health and when you have shield. Don't push when you have no health and no shield. That's like not generally a good idea. Like there are times where you can get away with it. This is not one of those times. I think if you try to keep moving, you're just gonna get obliterated here. So you get super low, despite the fact that again you have no health and no shield. Right? You're half health, half shield. And remember, because the half of your health is armor, your health section, the second half goes way faster than the first half in terms of health. So you can get shredded so fast, especially when people like at higher ranks will can be consistently headshotting you. This is really silly. You get super low, and your Ana is going to make a mistake here, but it's forced by you, right? Because you get spooked here, your Ana's like, hey, what the heck is going on up there? She gets scared, sees that you're critical, and pops his nano. This is a terrible nano. This is a terrible, terrible nano. But this is why you want to make your teammates' reads easier by not doing stuff like this. Like it was on the grand scheme of things, was it that big a deal by you? No, it wasn't like a huge problem for you, but it baits your teammate into doing a bigger mistake. I would also take a moment and note how much ult charge you're feeding to the opposing team because of like your weird plays. So look right now, look at the first three numbers, right? Everybody has ulti. So 74, 84, 74. So you walk up here, right? This charge should not have happened. So we're already at 84, 92, 79. So you basically just fed like 10 to 15%, except for the Ashe. Okay? Now you go over here. You're going to take even more damage. All right? This part you're going to zone out. So now we're at 90, 98, 87. So somewhere between 10 to 15% still. Then you're going to feed basically all three of them their ultis right now. All right? This is a huge problem. Like as tanks, like this is how you end up facing off against way more ultis than you can deal with. So you're not only using up your own team's ulti for no reason, but you're also feeding the opposing team good ultis. So now you're gonna go. Wait, when did you use Shatter? Oh, you look for Shatter. Oh, okay. This was a really bad. That's what happens. Okay, losing Shatter here is massive. So every tank ultimate, right? You have to think: am I going to get the kills? Or is my team going to get the kills? And this applies to Zarya Grav and Rein Shatter, right? To some extent, Primal Rage as well. So why I say this is, if you think your team is going to get the kills, if you're like, hey, I'm planning on my team's getting the kills, you have to do it somewhere where they have LOS. Your team will not have LOS of anybody over here. Well, I think we can agree upon that, right? This is way too far away for your team to do anything about it right now. So obviously you're planning on getting the kills here. Even if you Shatter here, it is not consistent to get kills this far away, right? It's very possible somebody could have LOS'd it, okay? Even if one person lives here, like the Ana, right? And she's still asleep, because you know she had sleep, because obviously you got slept while trying to Shatter. She just sleeps you, and then everybody lives here, and you just wasted Shatter. So you're just trying too hard to make a play. Like, play within the flow of the game. Right? Don't make it so hard for you. Like, you don't need to make some big play. Like, the Ramattra's already dead. The cart's going to move on its own, right? Your team is up. It's 5-on-3. Like, you don't need to be forcing anything right now. So, despite the fact that you nano, you did literally nothing with it. I mean, like, literally nothing. Not figuratively nothing. Cassidy comes back. Like, yeah, there's not a lot you could do here. So you're going to be going into like a 4-on-3, 4-on-4 situation. So I think it's totally fine right now to be staying all the way up here. Right? You have your team coming up. You have three people coming up. Like, I think you want to be going up here so that the Ramattra cannot spam your Cassidy freely. Because like, what else are you going to do right now? This is fine. Like, they don't have like their whole team. Like, it's not like, oh, they have the Cassidy and there's an Ashe and whatever right over here. Like, it's just the Ramattra and a Lucio. You can swing here. You can 100% swing here. Right? Now the teams are joining. Okay, great. Beat got forced. Excellent. Right? Just back up. Like, this is a wasted support ulti. See? Both teams make bad mistakes. So Ramattra clearly has ulti right now because he has an ulti the whole game. You'd be thinking about that. So ideally, you zone out the Ramattra, right? If you can't zone out the Ramattra, you kill the Ramattra. So if Ramatra's just running at me, just charge. Just charge right here. Take him out of the fight. Missing that fire strike is bad. But you somehow hit the Cassidy, so we'll take it. Alright, Ramatra's dead. I would just walk away and go back to spawn. So all this thing that you're doing right now is not so great. Yeah. Like, you don't need to be creative, right? I feel like you're trying so hard to like do some sort of like innovative play. You don't need to do that at all. Just do your job, right? Control the front line, farm shatter, wait for shield, shield ends, shatter, fights one. So this is another great example where you are just not doing your job, right? You're good so far. Right now this is fine, right? But like over here, why are you going to the left? Just chill, right? Just stay on the backside of the cart, right? Shield if necessary. Make sure Bob doesn't kill anybody. Like, why did you walk all the way over here? Like, that little move, you're like, oh, whatever. It's not your job. It's not your job to deal with anything over here to the left. It's simply your job to keep the Bob away from doing anything and to deal with the front line, right? Shield. I think you walk up here, right? You're about to have shatter in a second. You want to be going up right now, not back. It is still, I believe, 5-on-5 situation. Yeah, it's 5-on-5. You want to be up right now. You have ultimate advantage. You want to use it. Don't miss that fire strike. Like, this is a tough angle to hit this fire strike from. You know? Like, why not just walk a little bit forwards, and when he has a commit to either going left or right, and then just throw it down that way, and then you get your final shatter. See, now you don't have shatter, which is, you're in danger. So Ramattra shield's up, you chill, which is good. You're 270 health, and you keep aggressing right now. This is a big mistake. Now, let's roll back. Why are you not getting healed? Well, you are not getting healed because the Lucio is going to come in the back line, and one of your teammates is slept. So it's fair for them not to be healing right now. If I'm the support, I also think you're pretty safe right now. You're behind the cart. You have shield. You're fine. I do not want you to be going up right now. And as a tank, whenever you are not being healed, your first question you should come up with is, why am I not being healed? Not like in a blaming way, but like something is happening here. Either like my support's dead, I didn't realize it, or I'm LOSing them, or they're being pressured. Okay? Something is always happening if your supports are not healing you. And so you should figure out, why are they not healing me, and play slow. For you to be walking forward, like, look how low you are right now. Like, why are you trying to hit the shatter? You don't need to do this. Like, you're trying so hard to make big plays, and it's completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. If you just sat back here, literally, even took your hands off keyboard and mouse right now, and just sat back here, the Lucio would die, and your team would heal you, and then you could start playing again. Like, this was like a gift-wrapped win. Teamfight win for you. So I would have tried to avoid hitting that lamppost. Here, you should be pulling hard to the left. I don't know if you were or not, but it doesn't look like it. So you're going to mess this up. So right there, you should have swung first before fire striking. And that would have been the difference to Ana living or dying before getting to the Mega. But instead, she gets all the way to the Mega. You take way more damage. You somehow chose not to kill her there. Right? You could just stayed forward. You're 340 health. Like, she's not going to be able to kill you. She already used sleep. It's funny. You jump so much, but you don't shield hop. Shield hopping, by the way, is when you can move faster while having shield up. Alright. Good multi-hit. So you know Ramattra ulti's coming soon. So I would probably bait Ramattra ulti, lose one team fight, win the next. You're going to make a mistake right now, which is, you know Ramattra ulti is coming. Your goal here should be to zone the Ramattra ulti. So when Ramattra tries to come forwards, Ramattra gets value from ulti by popping ulti like here, not from popping ulti over here. That's why you should stay in front of the Ramattra when he's going to try to ulti. I would say in general, but like right now, why are you not looking at the Ramattra and physically even body blocking him if you have to, and then shield High Noon when it comes? So you're going to kill Iana, which frankly shouldn't have happened, but we'll take it. You missed the charge here. It's over. Alright, that's fine. So, Ramattra ulti happened. You have Shatter here. You have Visor. You have High Noon. This should be an easy win. Easy, easy win. You are going way too early. That's not true. No, you're good. You're good. Your timing's good. I thought you were going too early. When I skip it, it's hard for me to tell the timing. So, you're at 634. There's no reason to be holding shield right now. I think you're just trying to block Vortex. I think it's okay. But now it's going to slow you down. Like, yeah, see, now your shield breaks. So, this is the right general idea for the Shatter. The problem is you're going to miss the Moira who's coalescing, which is problem number one. And problem number two, shattering Ramattra when he's in Nemesis form is not that great. So, you're not actually going to get any kills out of this. Oh, you killed the Cassidy, but that shouldn't have happened because the Ana should easily have healed this Cassidy. Like, there's no reason for this Cassidy to die here. I think at higher ranks nobody dies here. But after Shatter, you still miss out an opportunity to charge the Ramattra off the cliff, which would be a big freaking play that would also lead to probably a win. Chasing the Ana, I would just charge here, right? Up. Here, charge. Right? She dies. You know, she sleeps, whatever, it is what it is, right? Somebody's got to force out the sleep. You get low. You're going to back up because of Bob. Yep, this is all fine. Regroup, and then you come back as D.Va. So you go high ground to deal with the Ashe, knock her off, which is great. You take a lot of damage. I think that you are probably going too early, because you see how your Ana's like not even at the corner yet. You're going too early, and that's why you're taking a ton of damage and not getting healed at all. Ana can finally see you. So this is all fine. I think if you were higher health, you could have killed this Bastion for sure, or even booped him into your team. Don't chase him. I know he's purple, but like by the time you see this purple's like actually happened for a while. See, like you don't start shooting until now. This purple has like a second and a half on it. He has still way too much health. He's not gonna die. So you almost feed mech away here. Very, very lucky to not lose mech. All right, just shoot. Bastion kills one. This should be a reset. I would just leave the spot and reset. Don't shoot Ramattra Shield. It's 1,000 health in the last 4 seconds. It's like almost never breaks. So this is another bad nano. You can kill the Bastion. Eat the sleep, which is great. So now it should be fairly straightforward. Now it's just mechanics. So you kill the Ana. It takes you a while, but you did a good job eating the dynamite. So now you recognize, oh man, he killed 4. Fly up, down, and through here, right? Or fly into the pit. Either one. This is a big mistake. This is a game-losing mistake right now. Trying to stay alive here. I know you're trying to push the D.Va Bomb off, but even if it got pushed off, like the Ramatra's already behind the cart. So like no one's gonna die to this. Alright, now you've given up a big take. Like think about it. Their Ramatra just used his ulti to win the fight. Why aren't you using your tank ultimates to use the fight? Right? Like none of your ultimates have done anything. And that is just not gonna work to climb. Like every single tank ultimate you pop has to either win the fight that was otherwise an even fight, or it has to force out a defense ulti. Every single one, without fail. If I miss even one ultimate per game, I assume I'm gonna lose. Like there's like no room for error with tank ultimates. Right? Which is not saying that I literally win every single one, but like at least like I'm like, okay, like that was great value. Like I made sense why I did it. So too aggressive right now. You're at 200 health. You decide to dive the Ashe. 200 health. Remember, like headshots do double damage, and D.Va has a pretty straightforward hitbox. Like this is an easy D-back by the Ashe. And now you're totally useless up here. So again, rolling this back, like what should you have done differently? So after you die, oh, I mean like obviously the bomb and everything messes everything up. But then from here, yo, you lose mech again. No. Wait. Yeah, what happens here? You hear? Yeah, exactly. You just get melted here. You're gonna lose mech. This is really bad. I think you should just flown back, regroup with your team, and then try to re-aggress. That's like the biggest mistake. And then you're running around D.Va form. You get mech back, right? Ana's dead. I mean, fly back, get health, reset, right? Regroup with whoever you got, and then come back out. The thing is, like, your team's just getting steamrolled because you're not putting any pressure on the backline, and you're not stopping the Bastion from killing them, and you're not stopping the Ramattra. So this is like a trifecta of all the things that are going wrong. Like, you're just not doing anything as D.Va other than feeding a ton of ult charge. So that's the big problems on offense. Okay. So let's talk about defense. Going back to Reinhardt. Is it okay, Fire Strike? Don't throw shield up when you don't need it. Nobody needs shield right now. No one's expecting shield. Oh, I mean, I guess the Bastion is shooting right now. but you really are going to need that shield soon. Don't advance. The time has come and gone for you to hold that corner. You should have been holding that corner from the very beginning. Like, this is your corner right now. Like, you stay this corner and you don't give it up until they force you to give it up. By playing statue, you're going to allow them to get a clean entry here. So, yeah, Dynamite's through. So, they've got all the angles. Right, now they're coming in. Now, see, it's too late, right? The Rhine's already through the choke, right? You already get discorded. They're set up. You take a ton of damage. And the Rhine understands, hey, you're discorded, so I'm going to win trades, which is why he's swinging at you. Just in terms of swing mechanics, this is no good. So for Rhine versus Rhine, a really good barometer to figure out how good one Rhine is how how many swings you get in on the opposing Rhine compared to how many swings they get on you, right? Even is like every swing I get, they get 1. Okay? Bad would be every swing I get in, they get 2. So you're going to actually mess up right here because as you come in, Fire Strike, okay, whatever, right? As you come in right here, you swing too early, which means that as you walk up, he actually gets a first swing on it. He chooses not to, right? You both are frankly not doing a good job. But I would have gotten a swing on you and then backed up, which means your second swing would have missed. And then I would have stepped forward and gotten a second swing on you and then Fire Strike and then just ran you over and killed you. So way too aggressive here. You're going to turn. This is your corner, okay? The moment that you go here, you're opening yourself up to the whole team. And you're super low. You're half health, like below half health right now. No armor, you should have died right there. You should just be completely dead. Somebody missed their shot for you to not die. Right? Zen's super aggressive, which makes sense because you're very low. Right? Your team's just not able to keep you up right now. You need to figure out how to get to this corner because you're too low here to be able to keep up this fight. Like, you're so low that the Mercy is non-stop healing you, which is a mistake, right? The Mercy's got to be deep, like damage reducing somebody else. So because the Mercy's healing you, which is inefficient for Mercy, you don't get the extra utility from having a Mercy on the team. This is a big waste. Alright, Ryan makes a mistake and dies. Great, we'll take it. Like, in Plat, you really don't need to make plays to win the game. All you have to do is just not make mistakes. Right? Diamond, to get out of Diamond, you got to figure out how to make plays. And I just talked about that in a previous video that I did today, actually. But to get to Diamond, like, all you do is just not make mistakes. Right? Just don't die. Right? Give up corners, give up space when you need to. Just do not die. And stay alive, and eventually, like, they'll do something stupid. Right? Like, there's no reason for this Rhine to die here. All he has to do is just play safe. Just walk this way, and he's good. Right? But he dies, because this is Plat, and people make really bad mistakes. Just, all you gotta do is stay alive. All you gotta do is stay alive. Speaking of which. So Rhine comes back out. Again, you're just being crazy aggressive. You're super low right now. You do not need to do this. So, you're walking in a straight line at the opposing Zen, who lights you up. Do not underestimate how much damage Zen does. So you super greedy Fire Strike, right? So right here, you have 150 health. You're backed up to 270, 300. Now you throw Fire Strike, you drop all the way down to 40 health there because you Fire Strike. You did not need that Fire Strike that badly. Also, you're still standing in the open where you can be seen. At a minimum, you should have been here, start the Fire Strike animation, go around the corner, immediately come back. Right? Like, that's like tight, solid Rhine play, and it's not coming out here. Right? There's so much of your Rhine play which is, quite frankly, very sloppy. Like, this is not a situation where you should die. Like, they're not actually trying to force, this is not a forced error. Right? They're not, like, diving into you, killing your supports or anything. Like, literally, there's a certain rate of healing that you can get, your base healing rate, which is, with Baptiste plus Mercy, call it, like, something like 110 health a second or so. Right? Your team heals 110 health a second. The enemy team is doing 200 damage a second to you. That's why you're dying. All you have to do is simply not take that damage. You don't need to be playing here. They're not even walking onto the point. Like, if the Rhine was here, I can understand. You're like, oh, I feel like I gotta fight this. The Rhine is just chilling back there. The Rhine's doing nothing. All you have to do is just hold shield, get around the corner, and just deal the Reaper, get your health back, and then come back. For you to be dead right now is devastating to your team because they have no ability to stop this fight now. Like, there's no chance. So you're going to go up and you're going to play close corner here, which would be great if you have all 5. You sort of do. Right? We got some time. So hold the corner, right? Don't stand here. Here is not good for Rhine, right? If Cassidy, or rather, if Ashe or Reaper or Rhine stand here, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. What, you just stare at them? right? You can't do anything from here. That's why you play at this corner, right? Play tight to the corner as Rein. Always tight to the corner. That way, if they try to step up and try to shoot you or your team or whatever, then you can walk up and swing at them and then get back around the corner. That's the way Rein is supposed to play, right? See? Like, you're just letting the Rein get forward. It's position. Like, why do this? Also, I would assume the Rein is Shatter. If you're close to Shatter and you lost the fight, their Rein will have Shatter. So, from my perspective, an obvious Shatter. Your team does a pretty good job LOSing it. Now you're in trouble. Right? Nano gets popped. So your goal here is to stay alive, right? Farm Shatter, and then hopefully you can turn this. So, just like little mechanics, you could have gotten one more swing in there, which would have been big, right? I understand this charge. If that Fire Strike lands, you also have Shatter. If you Shatter at any moment in time, you can turn this fight, right? Just Shatter these two, your team kills them, great. Now it's a 5-on-2. Right? Easy win. Like, now you can potentially throw Shatter, but it's very, very risky, and then you're gonna die. So, you know, and like if you Shatter there, like your Mercy could res you. There's so much here that you're doing wrong. So I don't know why you're just ignoring this Rein completely. So you can't miss that Fire Strike. Unacceptable to miss this Fire Strike. There is no world where you are allowed to miss Fire Strike on a Rein at point blank. Like, this cannot happen. This is just bad mechanics. Like, this is really, really bad. So I think Shatter here is reasonable. The problem is you don't hit the Zen. Is Shatter here reasonable? I think the problem is, this is the issue where I'm skipping. You're down a DPS, right? So you're gonna have to get most of these kills yourself. So yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just too short for the Zen. This is just too short. I think I would have thrown the Shatter too. Right? I think you do the best you can. I think you really should have died here and not gotten anything though. I think throwing Shatter a little bit earlier would have been also helpful. Right now, honestly, would be fine, but right now it would be big. But because you go even further, you eat that whole volley by the Zen. That's what blows you up here. Right? You're at 550, 625. You're basically full health right now. But this Zen, pow! Right? All of a sudden, he does 400 something damage to you, 450, and now, you know, you're screwed because you're purple. Team ends up winning the fight anyway. We'll take it. So you're going to lose your Mercy here. How does this happen? I don't know why you're playing Library. Right? If you have 5, you don't have 5, right? So yeah, you play the corner here. Right? If you had Library, if you had Howl 5, play Arch. Otherwise, play Mercy. So this is unfortunate. I think this is mostly your Mercy playing out of position. You could have shielded this though, but I would say mostly your Mercy just being foolish here. This is an obvious Shatter block. You had so much time to react to this. Right? As a general rule, Reinhardt's farm Shatter every other fight. Did he Shatter last fight? No, he's going to have Shatter this fight. Think Shatter, Shatter, Shatter. This is an easy block. You have a lot of time to react to this. A lot of time to react to this. Right? That's like basically a full second plus to react to that Shatter. So I would not have charged there because I know I'm not going to live. Just Fire Strike, right? Fire Strike and swing. Just farm Shatter as fast as you can. Like, this gives you nothing. This gives you 0% ult charge. If you just Fire Strike here, there's a possibility of getting a 3-man one, which is going to be 18% ult charge, right? Plus a couple swings on the Rein. That's like 25% ult charge right there that you missed out on. Plus, if you get that extra Fire String off, you could get something like 40% ult charge from that. So you come as Orisa. I mean, the thing is, I really, really, really need to force... Well, I guess they already capped. But, I mean, you're pretty screwed here. There's 4 minutes on the clock, and they only need to win one fight. So, assuming a team fight every 30 to 40 seconds, you're looking at something like 6 to 7 team fights in a row that you're going to need to win. Like, this is, like, functionally impossible. If I were playing as you right now, like, I don't think I could do any differently. There's almost no way. Plus, they have massive ult advantage. Like, look at their ults, right? They have 4 ulties right now. They are truly steamrolling your team. Like, this is like a very one-sided affair. So, and like, this is really sloppy too. So look at your heat, all right? So you're already halfway. This fight is not even begun in earnest yet. You're 2/3 of the way up in heat charge. Right? You drop down. Again, you're not really shooting anything. Your heat recharges. Okay, great. You're back up right now. Shooting. Right? You're at half right now. You're still shooting for no reason. You eat that fire strike. You could hear it. Like, you can hear the fire strike when he's swinging it. You should be dodging them when you hear it. Now you're at 3/4 like heat, and you still have not seen anybody during this. Right? And then now you overheat at the critical moment when you need to be attacking. Like, the win condition here for Rein is he gets into your face with shield and health. If that happens, you lose. That's basically universal for Rein against all matchups. If you get at point blank against the enemy and you have shield and you have health, you win. That's like the simplest rule for Reinhardt. So how do you prevent that as Orisa is that you have spin and you have spam, right? You spam the shield down and you spin him to go back, and you can use javelin to get him back as well. And now you have no heat right now. So you can't shoot the shield, or like the Rein understands. He's like, oh, okay, I guess you just can't shoot me anymore. It's like reloading when they push you, right? It's like basic, Orisa 101. Then the Reinhardt pushes into you. You pop Fortify first, which is another cardinal sin of Orisa. I talk about this all the time in my Orisa videos. Always use spin first. Always use spin first. Okay? You should almost never use Fortify first. Always use spin first. That way, when you do need to Fortify, by the time your Fortify ends, you spin again. So you get 2 spins and a Fortify versus 1 spin and a Fortify. So you should have used spin right now to knock the Rein back, right? And then take in position on this side of the cart, or actually knock the Rein back and then immediately javelin the Cassidy is what you should have done here. But instead, you don't do any of the things, right? You just pop Fortify, which does nothing for you right now. Like, you don't even use the heat from it, really. You're still taking a ton of damage. You take the damage from the High Noon as well. You just 400 damage, right? You still haven't used spin yet, and now you spin to do nothing. So, obviously, the fight's over. Okay. So, I'm sure this is a tough video to watch, but, like, to be perfectly honest, you did not play well this game. Like, this is a pretty big difference in, like, how the two tanks played. And I think that we pointed out a lot of different mistakes that you're making here, right? I think on Rein, honestly, your Rein looked way better than your Orisa. Like, I know we talked separately and you said that you were super tilted at the end, but I mean, like, it's a game. Like, play your best, whatever you got. That Orisa play looked atrocious, to be perfectly honest. That looked so bad. Like, you were not using any of your abilities correctly at any moment in time, including just shooting. Looked really bad. I think you have the general feel for Reinhardt. I think you need to understand, when do I need to play safe, right? When do I need to play safe? When you get low, right? When your team is not with you, because you never do third-person peeking, so I'm going to relink my Reinhardt techniques guide. When you get low, right, or your team's not with you, play safe, right? Otherwise, you can push. That's number one. Number two, you got to get value from your ultimates. Almost every single ultimate you throw this entire game is bad. Very, very hard to get to win that way. On D.Va, you didn't look super comfortable on any of the parts of playing D.Va. I think it was the right general idea to play D.Va there. I mean, if you could play D.Va, but it doesn't look like you can play D.Va well. So if your goal was, I want to win this game, I would have stuck as Reinhardt for you. Because I think the Reinhardt play looked way better than your D.Va. I think as D.Va, you look super lost. The Bastion was shredding your team, the Ramattra was shredding your team, and you weren't doing nearly enough on D.Va. So I would say, unless you're trying to practice D.Va and you're like, oh, I'm okay losing the game, then fine, play D.Va. But otherwise, I think your Reinhardt play looked a lot better. And then finally, talking about, I'm not even going to talk about the Orisa, it's not worth it, right? But on defense, you can see that you're just getting picked at, like, bad times. Like, you're dying at times where it's like, there's no reason for you to be dying. They're not even applying any pressure to you. They're just spamming you, and you're dying to spam. And that can't happen, right? And it's because you're not keeping track of your health, you're not keeping track of where your team is, you're being too greedy, you're trying to throw fire strikes when they're attacking you, stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this is helpful.